everybody, and welcome to the Fairview Church Podcast. I'm your host, John Spallino, and today I have Lacie Aldret here with me, and we're going to be talking about the missions market. But before we jump into that, Lacie, introduce yourself for those who may not know you, how long you've been here, tell us a little bit about your family, anything else you want to tell us, and then we'll jump into talking about the missions market.
I am Lacie Aldret, and I have 8 million kids and 3 grandbabies, and I've been at Fairview for 10 years, and I have led or directed the missions market for the last 8 years.
Awesome. And you have your hand in actually a lot of different things at our church, not only missions market, but our security shepherd team. You're involved in that. You've been involved in student ministry, and you help with a lot of different things there, here and there throughout the years. And so you are very active, and I appreciate all that you guys do. Before we jump in, actually, I didn't tell you this question, but here's another question, okay, for you. Because we're about to jump into how did missions market start, but this year is actually a special year, isn't it? It is what anniversary for? It's the 10-year anniversary for the missions market. Now, it's changed names. Now it's the what? It's the Middle Tennessee Missions Market. And why did we change it from Fairview's to Middle Tennessee?
It's grown quite a bit, the impact it has made and the organizations we partner with, and just where vendors come from, and it's just covering, it just suited Middle Tennessee Missions Market. Just suited.
Absolutely, yeah. It's gotten very, very big. So let's focus on that a little bit later. Let's focus on how it began, the very beginnings of the missions market. So share with us, how did it start?
So about 9.5 years ago, we were challenged as a community group to come up with a way to have an outreach to the community. And that Sunday, or that community group, had 6 or 7 artisans, me not being one of them. But they were like, hey, we should totally put on a craft fair that can bless the community, bring the community in, and just have a really great festival market kind of feel. And what can we do to just not only help small local business owners, but also just spread the community love of being able to do as a group, as a community group, being able to work together to be able to bless others. And so it just kind of grew from there. The challenge was accepted, and we had no idea the response we were going to get, and we didn't know we were going to be doing this 10 years later.
That's awesome. Yeah, so it's definitely has grown. What has been one of the biggest blessings that you've seen throughout the years when it comes to putting on this market for our community and involving our folks here at Fairview?
So it's a really hard thing for me to answer because I am blessed by so much by the missions market. When we started, I'm more on the organizational and administrative side, so that gifting was able to be used to help this community group of artisans. And me having a large family, we have 8 children, not 8 million, but it feels like 8 million sometimes. But we have 8 children, and to be able to serve alongside with my family, it was just a huge blessing for me to be able to get my children involved, and be able to serve the community in a way that mine and my husband's heart's desire is to always be serving in a way that, shares who we are. So
absolutely. And I think, not only were you able to involve your family in this kind of project and this mission outreach, but I think over the years too, we've seen a lot of returning vendors that have shown up, have been blessed by being here, and just, tell us a bit, maybe some of those as far as, maybe not by name, or you can by name, it's
right.
up to you, but.
So that's why it's hard to pick and choose, because there are so many things that we stand for. The community, the people that I've gotten to know, just even on campus or even at other churches that have come alongside us and served and gotten this event ready, just so many hands that go into it, and those relationships that have been developed. If I could say one word, it'd be the relationships that have been developed through this market. Vendors, because we're rooted in the artisan realm, and they set such a high standard for taking care of our vendors, we really just pour into that's one of the points that we try to make happen during the event, is knowing that these vendors are cared for, they're any needs that they have, helped snacks that they may need. That a vendor, they're busy trying to support their families with this extra income, and knowing that they're a small business, all they have time to think is to prepare, and then come here, and sometimes they can't even think about eating. So providing them with snacks, asking them if they need waters, just that's a huge blessing. And I've just heard time and time again, our vendors, we have probably about 70% of our vendors return every year at least.
That's amazing.
And it's because of the impact that we make on them as well. And then we have organizations that we partner with as well that come, that aren't necessarily selling anything, but they're ministries that show and share what is offered around Middle Tennessee. So when the community does come in, they're able to plug in or offer whatever needs that they have. So
yeah, so it's hitting vendors, it's hitting the community as far as needs that might be. We allow nonprofits to come in and share what they're doing, and then it also impacts missions, right? And so share a little bit about that.
So I'll say the bridge between the last item and this one is that we also had a car clinic that was going on, and that's a very mission in our heart, because my husband and I, we have an automotive shop. And to be able to help people with their automotive care, we started a single moms and widows car clinic during the missions market. Well, that outgrew it. It used to be on Saturday.
Yeah,
We've actually, yes, it outgrew it. Not only in size, but in the size of volunteers and the impact on the single moms and widows. But we replaced it with a car show that now supports the single moms and widows. But the impact that it makes on people, we have the local backpack ministry come out with the neon bus, and they give away free, a free book for the kids that get on. We try to get a fire truck. We did all these different things that we have to offer.
Yeah, and then for our folks too, we allow our students and adults to volunteer in order to raise money for a trip that they might go on, or a ministry within Fairview that they're passionate about. And
right, and so that's another point as well. This is just the event that keeps on giving in my mindset. But when we have volunteers that work, the first year that we had created the event and everything, we had vendors that, for us to get quality vendors, we need to charge a fee. And at the end of it, we were like, whoa, what do we do with this money? And continuing the mission mindset and the mission impact, we decided to give it towards missions or ministries. And then it has now evolved into, we have over 70 volunteers. And if they serve a certain amount of shifts, they can get funds that go towards a ministry, organization, a trip that is mission-minded, just to continue going or plug into one of these ministries that we actually work alongside with, so that it keeps on giving back to Lebanon, back to Middleton.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's really powerful. All right, hey, let's talk about this year. You already mentioned we have the car show coming up, which is going to be excellent. Let's see, who's leading up that car show? Let's shout them out.
So Paul Bennett, he's one of the guys that he's dear to our family. We met him and his wife, Kathy, doing Missions Market. That's the only way we knew about him, is he heard about it and he wanted to serve because he couldn't go out of the States, or he couldn't go out of town to do a mission trip. So this was his mission trip.
Cool.
And so the more we got to know him, he's always done car shows, and he thought it'd be a great idea to do this car show to support the single moms.
This is our
and
third
widows.
year doing a car show?
The third year. And I'm really excited for that part, for sure.
It's going to be excellent. We got some really cool cars coming out.
Yes.
We have pets and that kind of stuff that come out, like animals, right? We have
a petting zoo. We have a train that rides around. We have a free hay-ride, and we have scarecrow displays that we put out there on the hay-ride that actually includes a scavenger hunt as well. So for all the kids that get on that complete the scavenger hunt, get a free snow cone. And then, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Free face painting.
Yeah, I got lots of things.
Free balloons. And then we'll have quality artisan vendors that are selling their handmade homemade items, from honey vendors to woodworkers, potters. You name it. It's covering it. We'll have food trucks out. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. Now, I know we're always excited about this upcoming year. I think it being at the 10-year anniversary is just very exciting. That who thought this would have grown to the point where we have lots of folks on our campus
Yes.
that weekend. And it's just a wonderful time to support Mission, but also to help these vendors and to support them. And so there's a lot of exciting things. And before we jump into our volunteers, let's just celebrate maybe some volunteers now. I know, and apologize if we forget people, that's fine too. But, if you just maybe name a few that have been we're like some really solid volunteers that have really poured into this past year that we can celebrate before we jump into our plea for more volunteers.
That's going to be so hard. So
there's so many.
there are so many. We have Tony Jones with Celebrate Recovery. He comes out every year and he's the one who helps driving the tractor for our hayride.
And Avis is always at that welcome tent.
Yep, Avis is welcome center. Joy Couts has been at the root of this. When we started this, she was one of the artisans. She's the potter there, and she has definitely been one of our staple vendors. And she serves alongside me to help me get some things done over the last 9 years. So she's been such a core servant to the missions market. There's so many. Paul and Kathy, the Laurie family, John and Beth Laurie. His wife is also a vendor this year. One really special one. His name is Clint Weevil. He is actually extended family, and he goes to another church, but every year he comes, and he's got such a great attitude in serving alongside with us, and just because he loves the impact of missions market.
And he does a great job in the dunk booth.
He does a great job in the dunk booth. He really does. So
he's a good heckler.
Yes, he is. And then J.R. Taylor, and then Jessica Thompson. She's great at the MC. Just there's so many. When I say we have 70-something volunteers, there are so many that pour their heart out and really.
Yeah, I could think of, I know we mentioned Joy Ryan, serves very faithfully. We don't want to forget your husband, Ricky, and your family who are here almost endlessly. There really is so many folks that are behind the scenes that serve faithfully. And so, we may not have mentioned you on this podcast. Please don't feel offended. We don't have time to mention everybody. But I do want to say, if you've helped with Missions Market in the past 9 years that we've done, it has been incredible, and you really made it to be something that
really did.
That we never thought it could probably be. And
could not have done it without everybody.
Yeah. And a shout out to my students who faithfully serve as well. They serve a lot, and even though sometimes they're hard to corral during the event, they are wonderful, servant-hearted in that. All right, let's talk about volunteers for this year. Here's our plea. Let's make a plea to everyone who's listening that if they're not a part of serving in Missions Market, why do they need to serve this year?
So there's been a lot of growth at Fairview, and getting to know your family here at Fairview. The Missions Market is such a great opportunity to work alongside, serve alongside, and being able to fulfill that impact that we make on this community in Lebanon and Middle Tennessee. I get to know so many people through the Missions Market, and it has been such a blessing to see that carry on after, and getting to know our church family, our community of believers here has been one of the main points that we started with 10 years ago, and it has been fruitful. Like, we just keep on getting to know people, and when we can have a good laugh while we're serving and talking and just sharing our faith with people and just being Jesus to everybody. It's been great.
That's awesome.
So
if you're listening or you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually go on Fairview's website right now. You can go to the events tab and you can actually register to volunteer at the Mission Market this year, and you can find all the information there if you want to register. And so we would just encourage you to do that. We're always in need of volunteers to help us with that weekend, whether it's before, setting up and getting it ready, during the event, and then tearing down. We always need folks to kind of come and help out. And even if it's only for 5 hours, that's okay too. That is a great time to serve, and we just need all hands on deck, and I'm just very excited for this year. Yeah. Well, Lacie, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know I'm just so excited for this year. Thank you for all the hard work that you've done and your family has done, and all the other people that have poured into Missions Market over the past 9 years. And we get to celebrate 10 years of the Missions Market, which is pretty stellar.
It's huge.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, if you're listening to this on iTunes or on Spotify or any place that has the audio version of our podcast, please leave us a review. That super helps us out a lot. And then if you're on YouTube, go ahead and give it a like, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. Leave a comment about what you liked about this. And hey, if you know of folks that would be interested in serving, make sure you let them know about our Middle Tennessee Missions Market. So if you know anybody in the church who has not serving but would be awesome at it, let them know to sign up. And yeah, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time.